Well, hi everybody. I hope everybody's doing good out there. And if you're watching this, thanks for watching. I My name is Lynn. I do tarot readings, political tarot readings, and if you haven't seen me before, hit the thumbs up and the join, and that way you'll be able to find me again. Because a lot of people have trouble finding me because my name is Lynn Tarot Readings with an S. And I've been doing this for a long time, like 3.5 years or so, or maybe 4. But there's so many Lyns, or so many people with Lynn in their name. If I would have known that when I started, it was not. Anyway, that's another story I've talked about too much already. My grandkids put me on YouTube, and I didn't know they were going to do it ahead of time, and we had to come up with a name instantly, so that's what I came up with after studying spiritualism all my life. Could have named it after my massage, which was Brooke Starr's Holistic Massage, but that might have been harder to find, something holistic and everything else in there. But I anyway want to thank everybody all my new subscribers. I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm so grateful, and I want you to know that, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and what I really appreciated was all you guys getting to me and telling me you found me again. It's like, which goes back to the name. I should have just put Granny Lynn on there. But anyway, that's done a long time ago, and I don't want to change it now. It'd be like starting all over again. But I said I wasn't going to mention him again, but I want to thank Sterling one more time because he's really helped me out at this time in my life. And I really appreciate it. Anyway, I've got some questions here that some of the people I read for all the time and have been for years that have become friends sent me some questions. And one of them's Jackie, a friend of mine from way back east. But anyway, she always sends me good questions. And then I've always got some from Mark Rhodes usually, and just some of the other people that I read for. And there's a lot going on. I just heard that video, but that tape that they had of Donald Trump trying to show those war plans to everybody in the room. He's a prize, isn't he? Just a prize. Hope he's one in 60 million people. We don't need another one of him. Anyway, and one way to answer some of these questions and see if it's even going to end up in court. There's been a lot of interesting things happen with that stuff with them going into Russia, and that guy that did it he was in the Mueller report. And he was, in fact, he's got an arrest warrant out for him in the United States. They were wanting to extradite him, and of course they were never going to extradite him from Russia. But it was him that set up the Russian bots that helped win Donald Trump the election to start with. You know, it's like Trump himself is not smart enough to be in back of this coup or in back of trying to all the disruption and stuff going on here in the United States. He's added to it. He's given people what they feel like is a license to go out and for YouTube only and actually hurt people and do some horrible things that's happened because of his mouth. But the plan to get us all fighting against each other, that's not his. I mean, that wasn't his original plan. That's been being worked on from 20 years ago when the Heritage Foundation started getting all those stacking the Supreme Court and everything else. So one of the things I wanted to ask about, and I don't even know if I ever wrote it down, so I do want to write it down here, is the Mueller report going to get, are they going to put it out on, what do they call it when they mark it all out? If they're going to put it out, the real report out. I'm just going to write Mueller. Oh, it's already down here, real report. or an blacked out. You know, I'm trying to come up with the word, but there goes my senior in mine. And two or three people brought that to my attention, that I was kind of like a dizzy blonde, and it gets worse when I read cards. I'm usually straighter when I'm not into my card readings, but once I even do a little meditation right before I come on and ask Rennick and some of my other guides to come in and help me, it's like I start doing this, and then my mind does not snap in like it does if I'm watching somebody else and I'm sitting here saying this when they're having the same kind of troubles I'm having. So I guess I'm not the only one. But anyway, if you don't like it, you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to comment. You can just move on. So anyway, but I want all of you, hope I'm not sounding like a witch, but anyway, maybe I am a witch. But anyway, so I got some really good questions from my friend Jackie, and it might answer some other questions, because right now I'm thinking, unless this Diane Cannon can pull a Houdini and slow this trial down to where it's stopped totally and nothing's coming forward before the primaries or anything else, Donald Trump's going to plea bargain, because I'm sure, even as some of the lawyers that he gets that blows smoke up his butt is not going to want to go to court with what they have on him, and he knows he can't win it, and so anyway, one of the first questions my friend Jackie said to ask was, will Donald Trump ever take the stand? And that makes sense. So let's see. And this is not just even, will he ever take the stand? And it doesn't matter what it's in, because if he's going to do this, they're going to have to do it within the next year or so. So it doesn't make any difference what case it is. Or they don't have to, because there's no way he's going to win the election, even if he ends up getting the nomination. But it'd be better just to get him out of the way. And I'm not sure the Democrats want him out of the way, between you and I, because he'd be easier to beat than any of the rest of them. So they run, well, I don't want to go into that either. Unless they come up with some whiz-bang candidate that's maybe in his 60s or between 40 and 60. So if Donald Trump's got to beat somebody, there's nobody he could beat anymore than if Biden has to beat somebody, there's nobody he can beat any more than Donald Trump. But anyway, that's silly too. If they just need to get all this crap out of the way and let people start voting and do their thing. No matter what happens, I just don't see any way that any Republicans could get back in there, even the mean girls. I can't believe those two. I got a text from my friend Jackie. She said she was more mature than that and in middle school. And I was thinking, well, I hope I was. I'm not sure I was, but I hope I was. I don't know if I remember back that far. But anyway, so let's see. Will Trump ever take the stand? Let's start right there. That's a good place to start. And let's see. I'm wondering, because this Prigozhin, I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, but that's how I'm going to do it. Like I said, even Mueller was fishing for him, if he was fishing for anybody. Like I said, he was a Republican all his life too, and working for the FBI. But anyway, he did do unredacted. That's what I want him to do. I want him to unredact that Mueller report, and we'll ask that too. But first, we're going to start. Will Donald Trump ever take the stand? I don't know how this is going to work. It might just, if it just shows. Maybe I'll just cut them and see if I can get a yes or no. Instead of, if I start pulling them and they're all swords and towers and everything, that could be what would happen if he did take the stand. When you're working with cards, it'd be hard to tell. So I'm just going to try cutting them. I just cut them and seen the American deal there. maybe I'm just going to cut them and see what I can come up with on a cut. To start with, this would be different. Well, they are investigating them. This would be in the past. In the present, they've got all this stuff against him. Look at this. All this evidence. The challenge is justice. Maybe he is going to take the stand. Look at this. Got justice coming out against him, or maybe he's going to do the plea deal. And here we go. This is them trying to move this forward so slow, it's just creeping. So I'm going to draw one more card over it. So I don't know if that would mean this is usually a yes card or a celebration card. We would all be celebrating and justice would be coming through even if it moves slow if he took the stand. I'm going to cut him and see if I can get a main arcana out of here. I knew I would. That's the way my card's been working. Whether he takes the stand or not, he's getting judgment against him. Look at this. This is judgment. So they've got they've researched and researched. They've got tons and tons of evidence on him. The challenge is justice. The future is them trying to slow it down and it not going real as fast as we'd like it to, but it's going. And then we got the people celebrating, and to me this is always a bunch of Democratic women celebrating. So I'm saying either he takes it and whatever. Either way, whether he takes it or he doesn't, we've got the women celebrating, and I cut him and drew a judgment card. So he's going down. That wasn't what I asked, but he's going down with these cards. There ain't no way that he can stay above with all this stuff here. So, drew 5 cards and got 3 main arcana. So, like I say, we got the deep search, all the evidence, judgment, them trying to slow it down, the women celebrating, and judgment. Justice was the first one, and then judgment. Well, justice and judgment on there. It really doesn't matter whether he takes a stand or not. He's getting, I would say he's definitely going down. I don't see how else those cards couldn't even be interpreted any other way. So, stick these back in here in different places. Says, will Trump witness tamper? Well, I think that's what Jack Smith is fishing for there when he didn't want him to talk about the trial to certain people. Also, I guess, from what I've heard some other lawyers say on TV, I haven't listened to the Midas Touch yet. I'll have to listen to them later tonight. You're not supposed to be able to tell people that they can't. What was it he asked to do was not to divulge who some of the witnesses was, that they have to or something. I don't know. I'll have to see what that goes to. I'll check on it and maybe read back on it in a couple of days. But he's either doing a plea deal or he's going to talk on the witness stand. I'd say that means yes, with judgment and justice and everything like that coming through after asking a question like that. So maybe he will be stupid enough to go to court. I didn't think so. Not with what they've got on him. If he's got some good lawyers, they try to plea deal him. But let's see what else is on here. The next one is, will he get caught for witness tampering? He'll do it right out in the open. And I'll be amazed if anybody even calls him on it seriously or locks him up like they would anybody else in his position. for the charges he has against him. Doesn't make any difference if he was the president. So, will he get caught witness tampering? That was the other next question somebody wrote down here for me. Nobody else wrote it down. I have hard enough time reading my own writing, but anyway, I think Jackie's the one that asked that too. Okay, well, are they going to get Trump for witness tampering? Well, this was in a past. They already gave him a warning. Told him not to talk to certain people and this and this and this. You know, he might get smart enough, and this is for entertainment only, he might get smart enough to just put out a secret list of everybody and send it out to his minions. Let's hope he don't. Let's hope these people stay safe. But it doesn't say they're not safe. It just showing that they already told him what he could do and what he couldn't do. In the present, he's already witness tampering. Look at this. Got a hanged man in the present, upside down, which shows he's already doing it. The challenge is going to be is if our courts do the United States courts do anything about it. Look at this. Unreal. Another main arcana. Like I said, I can't believe these cards. Well, this is the bully going home, so this could be him making a plea deal. Maybe they will actually threaten to put his ass in jail. I can't believe it. I can't believe Merrick Garland would ever do anything like that. I don't know if Merrick Garland has anything to do with this or if it's out of his hands. But if it was in his hands, he'd never put him in jail for nothing. But maybe Jack Smith can, and well, I don't know. But here's him. Here's the bully walking away. I'm going to cut these cards and see if I can get a main arcana on it. Jack Smith putting him away. And the judges. They may actually try to put him somewhere and take away his phone. That would be amazing. I can't imagine them doing that. That's what they should do if he don't shut up, because we don't want him getting people hurt. But anyway, that's what's coming up there. Cut him, do another main arcana. Deep dive. It's like somebody's going to really be checking on this. So, this is what he was told he couldn't do. He's already doing it, witness tampering. Even if it's just talking to people he's not supposed to. He's already been told not to talk to about the case. Not to talk to, but not to talk to about the case. The challenge is if the United States really comes through and follows through and treats him like they would anybody else that's been arrested for close to something treasonous or something that is treasonous as far as I can see. This is him giving up, the bully giving up. So I'm thinking maybe it's a plea bargain or something. Here's the judge or Jack Smith right on top. Here's all the evidence. And this is him getting locked up. So, according to these cards, like I said, I even if I was sitting here watching them do it on TV, I'd wonder if I should trust my lying old eyes, because I'd be amazed if they do this. But the cards say they could do that. That they could really. Let me mark this out so I don't come back and try to read on these again. That they could come through and get him for that, for witness tampering, even before he gets to court or something. Um, well, number 3 I've got here, maybe this is some stuff I wrote down today, are they investigating the Mueller report? That's why I think I'm the one that wrote it down, because what I mean by that is there was so much of it that was redacted, and it was just blown by the wayside because of Barr. That was going to be my next question. Are they going to put the Mueller report out unredacted? There's a lot bigger coup going on than came out on January 6th, 5th or 6th. I can't ever, you think as many times as I've heard that every once in a while when I'm reading cards, I say the wrong deal. But anyway, if I say the wrong one, you don't have to correct me because it doesn't, it's just a day's difference and we all know what I'm talking about. But there was a lot bigger coup going on. And damn sure, he was just the useful idiot that stepped into the box right at the right time. And he was kind of being programmed for maybe running for office anyway, even if he didn't think he'd ever win and it was a joke and a publicity stunt. It wasn't that to Russia. So there was a lot of different sides working on this, going in there and messing with public opinion, the Russian bots, because that was one thing that Prigozhin, or however you say it, was supposed to have been in the middle of, was a lot of the Russian boats and finding those emails. He was in charge of the people that sent those emails, Hillary's emails or whatever. So, this is for entertainment only. So, since they are looking at these electors, is this going to end up getting all of them, Roger Stone and the Flint brothers and all the people that were really working with these Russians arm in arm, and Bannon? Is more of that Mueller report going to get unredacted, and are they going to really follow this through and clean our government out? And that goes clear to the Pentagon. It goes to the Flynn brothers. Kind of, probably maybe that was the right time. So are they going to get rid of all the redactions on that Mueller report and get it out there and explain to the people what in the hell it says, because nobody reads anymore anyway. If they can't get it on a 2-second bite on Instagram or something, that they don't want to waste their time finding out if they're going to be free or who's going to be free, as long as they're not one of the gays they're coming after, or one of the, especially all the people that think that nothing ever pertains to them because they're white. They don't even realize what's going on with the rest of the United States. But anyway, are they going to unredact the Mueller report? Mark Rhodes. Let me turn this off right now. I'll have to call him back. So anyway, let's see. I probably should have answered. He's probably got something to ask me, but I didn't know what that would do to this movie I'm making. I don't know. Want to mess it up and knock it off or something. So are they going to unredact the Mueller report? And if anybody wants a personal reading, it's LynnTarotReadings@gmail.com, and put your phone number in there. LynnTarotReadings@gmail.com and put your phone number in there. So, are they going to get rid of the redactions on the Mueller report so people can see what was really going on way back when all this shit really got to rolling? It's been rolling for 20 years. It wasn't just a figment of Roger Stone's imagination or Bannon's, or it goes even deeper than that. So let's see. Are they going to redact the Mueller report? If they do, it's going to show a bunch of stuff about Russia. It's going to definitely show they were really involved in the election that got Trump elected the first time. Well, we got two main arcanas here. These cards they've been magnificent to me lately. My guides have been helping me so much. Talk about helping an old lady. We got the World here. So, yeah, this looks like maybe so. This is the foundation. This is the answer, and that's like the world finding out. So I would say that kind of looks like a yes. Let's see what the challenge is. It looks like it gets overcome because here this is like the winner. This is the winners. That's like a yes card. So this is the Democratic Party. Who would be in charge of unredacting it? I'm not sure if it's the AG or whatever, but this would be them, definitely. This is like the Biden administration. Not that it would be Biden himself, but it would be the administration in charge of that kind of stuff. I'm going to cut them and see what we come up with here over the top. Got a 7 of Cups. I would say that's a yes. That's like, yeah, they're going to show up the good and the bad. Some things that some of the things they didn't even want anybody to know 3 or 4 years ago, they thought, no, this needs to come out. So I think that I feel like that's what's going on there. So that is what's going on there. I'd say yes. This shows how, in the past, how much Russia was right in the middle of our business, helping get Trump get elected. This is them showing it to the whole world instead of putting it out piecemeal and coming out easier to understand. Although a lot of people did it orally and had it pretty damned easy to understand for people that were too lazy to read it when it came out. But it was so redacted. I'm asking for unredacted, and this looks like yes, and it would be a winning thing to do, even though it's always been a challenge to redact it. And this is the administration, taking the redaction off of it, and this is all the stuff that it would expose. There's all kinds of stuff in there. All kinds of stuff in there to expose. So I would say yes, that they're going to do it. I don't know how quick they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. I don't know. Got a Knight of Wands coming in there, it looks like. He's always in a hurry. Got his stuff together. Money. So, yeah. So I wonder if we're going to really find out. If they do release that Mueller report, are we going to find out what was really behind all the crap that started everybody arguing with everybody here and all the stupid stuff going out? The stupider something it is, the more people believe it. not everybody, but some of the things that people, I don't know. I don't even want to say it. No reason to go into that. But let's see what else I've got here. Flynn Brothers, Pentagon. Now that's what somebody was wanting me to ask, if this is going to go clear back. If they do redact that Mueller report, and start letting. They just want to know if Jack Smith was going that deep. If he's going clear back to after Mike Flynn and his brother, then some of the people there at the Pentagon, Steve Bannon, Roger Stone. Those are the people that was working with whoever's masterminding this all, and who knows, they've been working on this for years, ever since they managed to get Bush in there when he lost his first election. They found out it could be done then, and they got a little taste of it, and they got a little taste of the power, and they've never let it go. And that Roger Stone goes clear back to Nixon's time. He was a big fan of Nixon. So I don't know. So let's leave this subject behind. And the next question I had, and I don't remember who sent that to me, they wanted to know if the Supreme Court would be changing before the election. Like, is anybody leaving the Supreme Court before? It would be November of next year. So we'll look at it and see if anybody's leaving before November of next year. It's kind of fun. I haven't read political cards since I did this 10 days ago. Been doing a lot of card reading. If you sent me an email, I've got back to everybody, unless it's just been the last 2 days or 2.5 days. But I'm going to look through those tomorrow and get back if there is some in there. And I'm sure there is probably a few in there. So I just wanted you to know that I'll be getting back with you. Be sure and put your phone number in there. So, so what was the question? That's what I wanted to ask, and then we don't have to try to ask on each one of these individual guys. If they are redacting the Mueller report, is this a lot bigger coup? Is it going to show that this is a lot bigger coup than some idiot calling a bunch of worshipers to Washington? Like I said, I feel like he showed up just in time to be the useful idiot they needed to run this circus. So if they are still investigating the Mueller report, and they're looking, and Jack Smith brings that forward, it's going to be a lot bigger coup than this, what we found out about January 6th and the fake electors and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how we could get a yes or no on this, but I'm gonna try drawing 10 cards this time. I'm gonna do the Celtic cross and see, maybe this will tell a story for me. By just drawing 4 cards, it's not telling as much of a story. Till less, I need to get that justice card off the floor. Every time I touch these cards, either a main arcana falls out, or either if I cut them, a main arcana comes up. It's been unreal, and I know that's my guides helping. I think they've been trying to assure me that they got me and not to worry. They got this, and just open up your mouth and spit it out. So anyway, yeah, so the question was, so is this a lot bigger coup than we thought it was after we seen all the stuff so far that's came out about January 6th? Pentacles. Started a long, long time ago. It's a page of Pentacles. Thinking like 20 years. I don't know. And then I turned that over. I thought that's distance. That's like 20 years ago. The influence around it. This is like the Attorney General. If you were reading on the law and what are they looking at and what are they not looking at. I was hoping Jack Smith, it could be him, it could be Jack Smith. It's the guy that's got the answers and got the know-how. So it could be him, Merrick Garland or Jack Smith. But this is the influence and the obstacle over it. Maybe it's for both of them. Maybe one of them will want to go with it and the other ones won't. So let's see what comes up for the rest of the cards and for some of the clarifiers. The foundation, some kind of negotiation going on about it right now, whether to release more of that report and if they're going to really show what's been going on all the way. And this goes all, and this is for entertainment only. This goes all the way up to the Pentagon. It's something that's been going on for a long time, and they know that. I think Mueller found out some of this in the report, since this is involved in all this. And here we got Michael, and we also got the spy in the camp. So I think that if they'd have been paying attention at all, any of these lawmakers, they would have known before January 6th this was coming, because it's been there a long time. We got exposure in the sky. That sounds really good. We got Michael, my favorite angel and my hangout around me. He's protected me all my life. And then we got the sun in the sky, right where it belongs. So this is lighting it up. I think they are going to take the redactions out of it. There might be some arguments on how much of them, but it looks like at least 3/4 of it's coming out, whatever. Let's see. Then we got a female judge. Maybe a female adulist has something to do with getting this unredacted. Somebody working on it. This is a female that's smart and knows what's going on. The Queen of Wands. I don't know if they want to expose how much control Russia did or how much energy Russia did have behind this, because this is sometimes the United States. But most of the time when I'm reading political cards, this is Russia coming through. This is Mother Russia, so they might just reveal a lot of stuff that was going on to get Trump in there to start with. I know Linda G always says someday it's going to be shown that he wasn't even a real president, so maybe this is the direction for it. I don't know if I believe that or not. Oh my gosh, here's another main arcana. So for the energy around that is how much they end up revealing to us. They know already. They know when this started, how many years ago it started, and who worked on most of it, and what, like I said, that Prigozhin or whatever that they're doing all the talking about, he was supposed to have been in back of all these Russian bots and stuff that was coming out and still coming out and on Twitter and everything else. So here we got the High Priestess. We got dark and light behind this energy, whether they're going to reveal it all or not. They definitely know what happened. Whether they ever tell us what happened, that'll be another story. We got the Ace of Swords over here, and Hope and Fears. And so that's justice coming through. And the outcome is the Moon. So we're going to shine some light on it. Are they really going to show us both sides and what's really going on? I'm going to have to cut them and see if this is a main arcana, but I still don't want to end with the moon. I'm going to cut them and get another one. I don't know. Every time I cut these damn cards, I come up with a main arcana. Got the death card over the moon. So it would definitely be maybe the death of the end of most of the bullshit, putting the truth out there, or if they did, would anybody even, I don't even know if they'd even admit that, that they're watching the truth. Who knows? I'm going to cut these cards and draw one right out of the middle and see if we can come up with another one. I got the Two of Wands. This could be overseas information coming in. There's a bunch of stuff about overseas over the death card. Or it could be by February or the next couple of months. Sometimes it's 6 months. Anyway, I hope they expose it all. Let me go back and start here and go through these cards again and see what comes up here. To start with, the signifier was money started getting put behind this, and the minute I turned this over, it was over 20 years ago. This has been going on for a long time. Maybe not the actual plan of walking in there on January 6th, but this scheme and everything was put in effect over 20 years ago. The influence over it at that time was some people pretty high up in our government, and maybe, like I said, some people that were big influencers at that time, like Roger Smith was in supposedly Nixon's era, and then, every Republican since then. It was Reagan came in there and closed up all the mental institutions and started bad-mouthing the poor and sending out innuendos about black people and being welfare queens and all this kind of shit. So it started a long, long time ago. It looks like they might expose 3 out of 4 things on it. So I don't know if that's the report itself or if this is just Jack Smith doing a deep dive on this and bringing forward just how long this energy's been coming forth, I guess would be the right way to put it. We got the blessing of Michael on this, so maybe it's time, even if it ends up tearing our government down to a core and it goes clear into the Pentagon, it's time. It either has to be knocked down to be rebuilt or we're just pissing up a tree. This is everything getting exposed, so I'm saying that's kind of a yes card right up on the top, right in the present. Here's some female helping push it through or rule over it. All this stuff coming out about Russia, a lot more than like actual proof. Not that they don't already have proof, but actual involvement so deep in this is them trying to help with the coup over here and other countries around the world. And if they were, we probably deserved it. Look at all the coups we not tried to pull, but did pull in places. But we need to start participating in this democracy. It's not a sideline show. If you're going to have a democracy, you have to participate. You have to vote. And you have to vote Democratic no matter what's going on with both of them. And believe me, I'm about as unhappy with the Democrats most of the time as I am the Republicans, but you got to vote Democrat at this time if you want to keep our republic, our democracy, and the republic. They're both the same. Okay, here we got the energy around this is the high priestess that's letting stuff out that's been hidden. This is justice coming through. But this is still shining the light of the moon on it instead of just putting it out there full blinding like the sun over this. This is some people trying to shut some of it down because they're afraid it might be, they don't know if the people could even handle the truth. They'll try to argue, the ones that's in charge of seeing what to release and what not to, that this may be the death of the nation. Well, our nations need some, what would enthuse me and probably all the rest of you, even as old as I am, I'd probably be out dancing in the streets if we could see a little justice being done, real justice. And so then we got this, and I don't know if this is 2 months, 2 weeks, or 2 years. If it's going to be the Mueller report we're talking about, or the stuff in there, and going back further, maybe by February next year, if it's not. Maybe it's the second month of next year. That's another thing that I was getting out of there. But anyway, that's what the cards are saying, people. And I'll have to wait till I edit this to see if it makes any sense. Not that I usually don't. You can't go back and change it. At least I can. I'm lucky I can even get the video up. In fact, the way I've been coming up on my own iPad, I need to call the guy that helps me with it, Dan, and see why it's not going right into my channel when I go into YouTube now like it used to. It's quit doing that. I don't know if they've changed something on YouTube or if I pushed the wrong button. So anyway, I hope this video even goes up. I guess you can put a video up if you're not on YouTube. I don't know. So let's see what else is on here. Yeah, I'm going to be upset if I go sit here and read cards for an hour and then I can't even upload it. Okay, let's see. Okay, is the Supreme Court changing any before the next election? Before November of next year. Somebody, sent that to me. Well, we got the Supreme Court. We got the right person, the signifier. So we got the court itself. Is the emperor. They think they're emperors. They all think they're emperors. For the influence and obstacles, we got new plans being looked at, maybe new laws being looked at. Maybe this is Senator Whitehouse and some of the stuff he's looking into, but something's being investigated or looked into here. We got the three of some kind of contract, 3 of contracts here. Got the sword of justice as the foundation. Maybe it will be changing. I don't know if it'll be changing or not, but it's got the sword of justice coming through, some kind of new contract coming through. Something's going on, and that looks like a new person or some new rules. The past influence on the present, we haven't even, I don't think we've heard the half of what they've been up to. Look at this coming in. This is the past influence on this sword of justice here. So they're really coming in with, there's a lot more stuff going to be breaking. And it's going to be in the United States' favor. And right now, for it to be in the United States' favor, it would be if they cleaned that court up a little bit. Get rid of the imbalance. God, they're looking at it. They're really investigating those guys deep. Look at this. This is the immediate future. There's a deep, deep investigation. That Senator Whitehouse and the other people on his committees and stuff, they're working the midnight oil on this. That's good to know that some. I mean, I knew they were working on it, and what they're doing is they're following the money. The energy around them following the money is at least one person's leaving, so I'd say they're definitely going to change one up before Biden's first term's over. Maybe in September. There's a lot of stuff we're going to hear about before that, but maybe even by September of this year. There's just more information coming, and more information coming, and more information coming on money that's changed hands that shouldn't be changing hands. Every time I cut them and draw a clarifier, I come up with a main arcana. Yeah, this is all the deals that were made, all the sweet deals made. Yeah, there's more. That's what's happening. There's more stuff coming out. Here's the Justice Department. This is all the investigations like Senator Whitehouse and they've been doing. This is the sword of justice coming through in the foundation. And we have the winning card back up here in the sky. So that's the winning card for the United States, which would be, this is how quick the information is going to come through. And it's going to be really like a hot news item, like calling the press, whatever. The old days of the newspapers. Lot of investigation going on. I mean, they're doing such a deep dive on this money, and everywhere they look, they keep finding money. Here's one person leaving. So one person is going to leave before November of next year. How, I don't know. If they'll leave because they're sick, or leave because they have to, or leave because they're whatever. But one person's leaving. And I think eventually they're going to put 3 people on there within the next couple of years, but this is just before a year, whatever, November of 24. Because they're going to find a lot of money that just dropped down to heaven out of heaven to these guys because of all the sweet deals they're doing. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to. Some of them might go just to keep from getting exposed, although they feel like they've all got a God complex, all of them that's in on this shit, like that everybody owes them. And of course they can take all these money and gifts and vacations and sweet deals because they're above us peons. Who knows why they think it's just appropriate where they can do it, but no other judges are supposed to do it. But we got like Judge Cannon already, to me, making stupid decisions, but I'll have to wait and see what the lawyers say about that. According to what I've heard already, that they can't stop them from letting people know who the witnesses are. I don't know. I guess I'll watch the Midas Touch. That's where I feel like I'm getting the most news on what's really going on with the court cases and stuff. This people slowing down at the ports, not going into work, and how the news media is already trying to blame it on the workers when they're just trying to get attention so they can get some raises and get them to negotiate with the unions. And already talked about it, Biden's going to step in, and already talked about how it's going to be the workers' fault if they slow down or go on strike, that the government's going to have to step in. And why is it the people's fault that work there if they're not getting any raises or getting hazard pay or getting time off or whatever it is that they're trying to negotiate for? Why should all this money? Oh, and another thing about that, they just started talking about it a little bit today. They probably didn't talk about it in corporate news, but I heard it on TYT, that there's a governor not a governor, a senator from Idaho. You know how close that is to the ocean. Republican senator from Idaho that's trying to get a bill passed right now. He's got it in there where if they slow it down or go on strike, that the workers owe the port authority, not the port authorities, or maybe that's who's paying them, whoever's paying them, whatever corporation's paying them. This is a corporation deal. They owe that corporation twice as much back as it ended up costing the corporation. Now, where in anybody's union contract should that ever be negotiated? And why in the hell is some senator that doesn't even have a state on the water, that's from frickin' Idaho, what right does he have to even put that kind of bill out? It's all corporate greed. It's all money that they're getting paid. And it's just amazing. And they're already talking about Biden stepping in and doing something, and they'll shame him into it because whatever. I don't want to make anybody mad, but I feel like the media and the Republicans do a pretty good job of manipulating him, or maybe it's just his corporate donors, The state that he was in all those years, they just passed some bills about corporations being people and getting to vote in some of their little towns. So I don't know what's going on, but sounds a little far-fetched, but yeah. The news media is getting bribed by the corporations, and all of our people in Congress are getting bribed by the corporations. So why would they ask the question, like, why is it the people that work there's fault if they need to go on strike because they're not getting paid, when these other people are not just getting rich, they're getting filthy, filthy rich. But anyway, and we're like 32nd of all these other nations when it comes to wages for workers and workers' rights on a new report that just came out. U.S. labor in other developed countries. Collection data for 38 other countries. Europe, Asia, Mideastern, even some of the South America, all these different places, and we come in 38th, and we don't even come in the top 10 in any of them. Out of 36 of the 38 on most of the different things that they did research on, and one was just how ranking for rights, how to organize, the right to organize. And it's not. This isn't just a Republican problem. This is a Democratic problem too, because they're all getting money from these corporations. So anyway, I need to be quiet and go on, I guess. I don't know what else to talk about. I know they did have that audio come out tonight of him rattling that paper about and bragging like a 2-year-old about how he had more gum in his pocket than anybody else, but using our documents that he wasn't supposed to have, supposed to be secret, classified stuff that he wasn't even supposed to have with him, more or less running his mouth about it. So I figure anything that he's ever had to share, he's probably already sold it. I'm hoping he hasn't, but I just wish they'd put him in some hospital somewhere after he's convicted and take all of his, give him toy phones and toy media stuff and just let him live out the rest of his life. So he couldn't hurt anybody or get anybody killed or get any more shit stirred up. He's a very sad person, and I feel sorry for him. I can't help but feel sorry for. I feel sorry for the whole world and how he's helped tear it apart at this terrible time. But he was a useful puppet that just came in at the right time. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys any longer. Oh my gosh, I've been on an hour already. Um, so remember, if you want a personal reading, it's linterrellreadings@gmail.com. If you email me, send me your phone number, and I'll get back to you. I can only do so much, and anyway, there's a reason for that, but I don't have to tell everybody why I can only do so much. And I just want to know I appreciate y'all and thank you so much for watching and have a good week or just be safe and be careful out there. Oh, I got one more little story if you want to hang on. It's kind of silly and I didn't want to bring it up again because everybody's just forgetting it and it was so sad. But I have always felt an affinity with the Titanic. Okay, here we go. Anyway, I've always felt a connection with the Titanic. And many years ago, about 15 years ago, I even bought this duplicate bell. It's a small one that you can hang outside your house, but it was made after the bell in the captain's quarters on the Titanic. And when I moved, I unscrewed it and brought it up here, but I couldn't screw it in anywhere because I live in apartments. I mean, it's one that you would hang outside in your garden and stuff. And I didn't, so I hung it on a little stand, because I feel an affinity toward it. And the morning that happened, or the day that happened, I hadn't heard it on the news because I usually get up and watch a few politics, but I hadn't heard anything about whatever yet. But I went outside with my leaf blower to blow my patio off, and I uh, reached over and picked that up to move it to another place so I didn't blow it over, even though it's heavy metal and it sits on a metal stand. And I immediately was overwhelmed by the death of the people in the Titanic. And I thought, that is so strange. That is just really strange because I just noticed I forgot to move the microphone closer. It's probably better. Sometimes I'm too loud. But I thought I was just overcome with that. And I was thinking, yeah, what was it? 1,600 people died or something like that. Anyway, and I thought that is so, it just hit me like it just happened or something. And then I came back in the house and I wasn't even thinking about it or anything. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I was doing the dishes and I heard about that. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're all gone. I knew. I thought that's why I had that reaction when I went to move that bell out there. But anyway, that's not neither good nor bad, except it was just a horrible feeling. And but more so for the sadness on this side. Like I do believe that there is no such thing as death, that it's a transition. But for the poor people that's left behind, it's got to be astronomical. But anyway, say your prayers for all the families and the guys that were in there. I'm sure that you've already heard this from everybody else, and this is old news now. In fact, I wasn't even going to mention it, but I just thought that was, anyway, it was really unique. I had something like that happen that strong before, and it was somebody in my immediate family the day before they died. But anyway, that's another story for another time. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and namaste.